Very good morning to you, our viewers. Welcome to it. This is the Wednesday edition of the Breakfast Show. My name is Sharon Kalimbuland. On the other chair, as usual, is Patrick Soka. What do you have?
Interesting. As usual, we have quite an interesting lineup for today's breakfast show. We'll be starting with our first segment we call the Morning Boost. Then we go to the Health Corner. Then it will be the right time for us to just also zoom in the stories that are trending. And before that, we have to also make sure we get updated on what is trending on in terms of how the Kwacha is performing against other major convertibles. So to just get started, we go to our first segment we call the Morning Boost, so that we can get exercising.
Great.
Hello, my name is Harrison, aka the Fitness Papi. You are here again. Today we are doing exercise that involves in metabolism. We just have two more exercises that I've just selected, and let's go. Before that, let's stretch. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, chest out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let's get started now. With me here, I have the bow. So this bow, what I'm doing with it, let's go. So if you also have a bow at home, you can come along. We do work out together. So this kind of exercise, they helps in metabolism. Let's go, we go. 1, so I'm going to do 15 reps, 3 sets, 2, let's go, 3, 4, 5, 6, come on, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 10 seconds. You breathe in and out, breathe in and out, as we are going for the second session. Breathe in and out, breathe in and out. Ready? 3, 2, 1, we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's go, 7, 8, 9, come on, 10, 5 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, so gently, let's go, 4 and 5, okay? Breathe in and out, breathe in and out, 10 seconds. Okay, let's go for the final round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come on, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Next one, I have a kettlebell here. We're doing kettlebell swing. Just one round. Get ready. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. We're doing a kettlebell swing. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, guys, you've been with me, Harrison, here at Chonzo Fitness in Kablonga. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it, the morning booster. Quite an interesting exercise, Sharon. There, are you able to move that ball up and down?
It's a heavy ball. We monaso. That's like it's a metal, you know, like a stone or something like that. But it's a metal. It's very heavy. Now, Patrick, my question is it a must that when you are a gym instructor or something like that, you need to have these muscles, shiny? You know, I see these people.
It's like you telling me you're a journalist when you've never written a story.
No, but really, for me, I think.
How do you persuade me?
Oh, so that's part of persuasion?
Because I should be able to demonstrate to say, as it is, okay. For that, it has to happen because, for instance, he spends more time in the gym, and because of exercising, so his body is.
Adjusting to that?
Yes, because it does a lot of
so
exercise. But again, last time I told you about someone who told me to say, if I give you this, your hair will grow. Really, him we didn't have hair. You understand, eh? So that marketing strategy did not work. I said, but what is this man saying?
You understand?
You understand? But what?
You know? So
it's like he has a big pot belly and he tells you to say, Madam Kalimbula, in 3 months you'll be able to lose your weight, your belly fat. Yes. So how does he persuade you? You understand, eh? But if you see, you say, okay, if I do a lot of exercise, it means my tummy will be.
I'm going to be flat. Like him or her.
Yes,
I haven't seen a lot of women really become that. What term do you use?
Muscular.
I don't know. Anyway, but anyways, I haven't seen a lot of women with muscles like that.
Yeah,
I haven't seen in Zambia, but I've seen one online. She's a bodybuilder, and she's actually very deformed. You wouldn't even think it's a woman. You can only tell that it's a woman when she talks or when she you know, because she likes wearing lipstick just to show people that she's a woman. Even the hair, you know, the long hair.
You have to spare me that conversation,
my
please.
Goodness, she's a man in a woman's skin. I don't know, something like that.
But that is an extreme. Like you say, she's a bodybuilder.
She's a bodybuilder.
But when we're talking about
gym instructors,
yes, like exercising, you don't have. It depends. There are stages you would want. So you say, okay, I'm okay with this. I just need a 6-pack. I just need what? It is up to you. But the others go extreme. You know, they are extreme bodybuilders, like the one you're talking about. Yeah. But for you just say it's. Sometimes others it's just about exercising and keeping fit.
All right, before we go into the health corner, just a reminder, yesterday President Hakainde Hichilema had a press conference where Patrick was. He attended and asked a very important question. Among other media houses that were there, asked pertinent questions that are happening in the country, and they wanted answers from the head of state as a father of the nation, and he eloquently responded. As always, it took about 4 hours, Patrick. I must say, you're a very strong guy. I can't do that. I think I'm growing very old. You were there for a very long time, and you were patiently listening to that long statement. That's what we are discussing this morning. So you may want to start preparing yourselves, asking those questions, and maybe reminding us of what points he missed, or if at all he's repeated some of the points from the previous press conference that he had. Patrick, people are very keen when it comes to these, pointing out the wrongs that somebody has done. So I'm sure others even had notebooks, writing them down, say each, when I come back on the last time, now I feel and he has repeated this. So really, that is what we are discussing this morning. You may want to prepare yourselves to give a comment on the presidential statement. Let's go into the health corner, and when we return, we will continue with the show.
Good morning, viewers. I'm Dr. Mutinta Muyuni, gynecologist, and I'm continuing talking to you about the menstrual cycle. Today, we are going to look at self-care, what to do about our plumbing. I call it plumbing because that's my secret way of referring to the cycles. So, what to do then? How do we look after ourselves during the menstrual cycle? We talked yesterday about some disorders like lack of periods, frequent periods, heavy periods. But even just normal monthly periods require you to have an understanding of how to look after yourselves. Let's go from top to toe. Our emotions, mood swings during the menstrual cycle. Let's be cheerful, ladies. Let's be cheerful, girls. We know this cycle happens every month, so let's not snap at people. Let's try and contain everything, as long as we understand that the reason we are in this predicament is variation in the hormones. Going down, we may have breast pain. A good firm bra or support will help minimize the pain of the breasts. And even supplements like evening primrose oil will help ease the discomfort from the breast pain every month. What about things like period pains? We don't always have to use medicine. A hot water bottle, for example, take care, don't burn yourself, will apply to the stomach. A good hot bath will ease the cramping quite significantly. Where does the cramping come from? The uterus squeezing and contracting to release the menstrual blood, and the contraction of the blood vessels or constriction of the blood vessels as they try and minimize the bleeding from the shedding of the lining. So, understanding that, ease your discomfort. I've heard a lot of girls say, I'm not going to take painkillers because it's going to make me infertile. That's so untrue. Ease your discomfort, because sometimes the pain can be so dramatic. You can't walk, you are vomiting, you can't do anything. Take that painkiller. Get back to work. Get back to school. Let's participate meaningfully in our national development. We are going to take part and do our role as women in this national cake. So take those painkillers if you have to. For the vomiting, you can take nausea medication that can be advised either at your pharmacy or at a medical facility, just to curb down and allow you to eat during this period of time. If your bleeding is heavy or your periods are frequent, you don't want to reach a level where you are passing out or feeling dizzy, getting headaches. Take blood booster syrups. Eat foods like spinach, wondwe, calendula. If you have some liver, fresh fish, boost your diet so that your blood level can remain high, and even after the periods, you'll be able to have a good hemoglobin level or a blood level, and you'll be able to be active as usual. Take care, girls. This is one of the main issues, anemia resulting from heavy periods. Let's look after ourselves. Let's talk to each other. Let's share the information. Let's manage our periods. Hygiene, let's change our pads if we have some, or a clean cloth that we can use with our panties and change it frequently. If we are using washable, wash the washable pads, dry them out in the sun. Don't hang them in a damp place where they may result in fungal infections or itchiness down there. If you are wearing disposable pads, change them frequently. If you are using tampons, don't wear them for longer than 12 hours. Please take care of yourself, because this is a normal part of life. Let's embrace our womanhood. This is Dr. Mutinta Miuni, gynecologist for Medical Women Association of Zambia. Till tomorrow, take care.
The doctors never disappoint. By the way, Patrick, I think we won an award.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that. Yes.
Zambia Medical Association Award online TV, and we brought that award home. We're very excited about it, Patrick, as Camnet TV, for covering and relentlessly health stories, stories that appeal to the human interest. You know, health comes very handy. They say a healthy nation is a wealthy nation.
Exactly.
So if you consistently report on these, you bring out what is happening in whatever sector, as long as it's health, it will be it will give an opportunity for people to know and understand what is happening in the sector. So we are very grateful to ZMA for recognizing us in terms of coverage of health stories. We look at the money markets now. The United States dollars is buying at 17 kwacha 62 ngwe and selling at 17 kwacha 97 ngwe. The Great British Pound is at 21 kwacha 37 ngwe and selling at 21 kwacha 79 ngwe. The Euro is at 18 kwacha 68 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 05 ngwe. The South African Rand is at 1 kwacha 01 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 03 ngwe. Those are your money markets as of the 21st of December 2022. Remember, like we always say it, they vary from one financial institution to another. But they just trade within the same range. Maybe Kangwe dropped, Kangwe increased, but they are within the same major figure, which is if it's 17, it's 17 zero something way, or something like that. That is how our culture is faring. Patrick, we haven't talked about the World Cup. I know it ended. You were giving the stats the previous weeks in terms of who is going to the 16 of round 16, round 8, the 4. You know, maybe briefly just tell us how you observed the whole situation. I know you monitored. I know you watched. I know you were geared. I know you were probably on the side of the chair. Which team were you supporting, by the way?
Well, it is quite interesting. I was going with the former residents, former African residents.
France, equally myself. You know, I mentioned Europe, it last time.
But you know, it was quite an interesting encounter. We saw the third and fourth between Morocco and Croatia, and Croatia managed to get that one. By the way they demonstrated to be a better side, and it's still a good position to come out.
I like the way you put it, that they demonstrated to be a better side.
Yes, but we have, you know, someone who is eager for it gets it.
Yeah. Someone
who needs it the most. And that also happened when it comes to the final that was being played between France and Argentina. Argentina, Sharon, demonstrated that they needed it the most. In the first minutes of the game, they scored, and they gave France immense pressure. You know, And not until towards the end of the first half, when the coach realized that I needed to make some changes here and there, he made some changes and they were paying off. So we saw the game, especially in the second half, getting excited because France was demonstrated that the match needed not to be a walkover, but it needed to be competitive. They managed to pull 2 goals back. Argentina scored the third one, and France also scored the third one. Sharon, it was quite an interesting encounter. It went to the extra time, and after extra time, we saw the 3 team playing in a penalty shootout. And sadly enough, some players did not have good penalty shooting skills for France, and one of Real Madrid stars, Tchouaméni, disappointed by missing a penalty as well. So, but Argentina were clinical in terms of finishing the penalties, and they managed to win the trophy. Two takeaways is that we had Lionel Messi, who managed to score quite a number of goals, bringing his tally should be to 8 goals
during this World Cup.
During this World Cup. But in the match, he scored he scored 2 goals, and we also had the talking point when it comes to Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe was also on fire.
He's such a hot guy. I'll never forget that.
The Ninja Turtle.
Okay, what?
Yeah, you understand why?
No, you tell me off camera. There's more to that. Actually, there's something I want to ask you about that guy.
You will understand. then Mbappe had to score 3 goals. He netted a hat-trick in a final, Sharon, and he also went ahead and scored a penalty on the other side when it came to penalty shootout, and he walked away with the golden boot as the top scorer of the World Cup. So in a nutshell, that's a summary of the World Cup. My team, which was France, lost, and those who were supporting for Argentina, they won, and that's the nature of football. It brings excitement. It brings and I made a bet with Christopher Chisi. You know Chisi, the 5FM.
No, he was excited. No, he was excited on social media.
Yes,
you saw him tagging you.
I paid him immediately after losing.
You keep your word.
Yes,
you keep your word.
As usual, you know that I don't default on bet. Yes.
But that date mulipide.
We
will remind you. But anyways, that's how the World Cup went down. And Patrick was just summarizing the actual final day. I saw memes flying over social media that say this is the same way we felt in 2021, when UPND won, PF lost, things like that. People are always trying to bring the situation home and make you understand how the people are feeling. That is exactly how it was. However, this morning, like we mentioned, we are discussing the presidential statement was issued yesterday during the press conference, and Patrick Soko, like I said, was there. Let's just go through the story that he did, where President Hakainde Hichilema bragged that his administration has performed better in the year 2022, but more could have been done. President Hichilema believes that the United Party for National Development is on course towards addressing the high cost of living. Speaking when he addressed the press conference at State House Tuesday, President Hichilema says the suffering Zambians are going through, what the Zambians are going through will be dealt with soon and is as a result of what happened in the previous administration. Let's look at this story. Among also another story that was done.
We had where the president is also emphasizing that journalists in Zambia should never be arrested for doing their work. The President Hichilema since instructed Home Affairs Minister Jack Mwimbu to protect journalists from any harassment.
All right, let's look at these 2 clips as we refresh our minds insofar as the press conference of yesterday is concerned.
Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, Tuesday 20th December 2022, held his last press conference for the year 2022 to uphold his commitment towards transparency and accountability. President Hichilema acknowledges that the year 2022 has been a combination of success and challenges.
So we committed to your views, receiving them. We welcome them. But remember, with the 5-year mandate, I think in the first 1 year, we've done pretty well. You can angle your own assessment. But for me, seated here, it's not enough. What we've done is not enough. I'm the first one to say we could do more. And we'll work to do more with yourselves.
The president had a message for every sector. And on topical issues, especially in the energy sector, the head of state says power utility firm ZESCO needs to be commercially viable.
ZESCO has to move to be commercially viable. Minister of Energy is looking at me. The last changes to some of these figures was around 205. Honestly, 205. How many years ago? How do you expect a business to survive again? Your own business. How do you expect, leave ZESCO alone, how do you expect to continue delivering electricity to your customers if you don't make the commercial adjustments that are necessary? The key for us now is to make the adjustments over a period of time, since they were not made for, we believe, political reasons. But we know that we will have the last laugh, because then ZESCO will be able to deliver, should be able to deliver efficiently to its customers.
While Zambians may argue, the president also indicated that the country is on the right track towards addressing the high cost of living.
Cost of living issues around addressing this vigorously. We understand. We are with you. We're committed to ameliorating the issues around the cost of living. But the important thing is to know, to gauge, are we on the right track or not? The answer is we are. How do I know? How do I argue to you, the citizens? I argue because one of the issues that was going to basically crystallize whether we like it or not was...
And the president, Hichilema, says next year will be about unlocking the domestic economy by addressing government bureaucracy.
The president himself will spend more than 50% of his time on unlocking blockers to development. Simple as license issues, simple as permits, they may look. Reform around energy, so we can quickly attend to some glitches around them.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Media, I've sent a message to the Minister of Home Affairs. Media and journalists should be free to conduct their professional work. I've sent a message loud and clear. No journalist should be arrested in the line of duty because they're acting as journalists. No. Bakudala Vision. It's up to you, the media, to deliver factual information. It's up to you. If you break other laws, that's a different issue. But no one should get arrested because you are conducting your professional work in the line of duty, so others would say. You shouldn't be in harm's way when you are in the line of duty. It's as simple as that. So, that's my 2023 commitment to you.
All right, President Hakainde Hichilema yesterday at the press conference where he just addressed a number of issues. Patrick, he was talking for more than an hour before you guys were given an opportunity to ask questions. As usual, Bali always speaks. He's gifted. I think
yes.
he's gifted.
He has energy.
He's gifted to talk. You know, you will talk like you know, but he never misses his words. He's firm on certain things. He's firm on certain pronouncements that were made initially when they just assumed office, and up to today he still feels they have done a tremendous job, and they could have done better, of course, but he's always referring to what they found in office. That also never misses his words. He always says what we found was worse. We are doing better to rectify the situation. I'm not just sure how long it's going to take for them to correct the whole situation. However, you, the viewers, can call us and give us your feedback on the statement that was issued. Do you think we're heading towards the right direction insofar as developmental aspirations are concerned, as promised by the United Party for National Development Administration, headed by President Hakainde Hichilema? President Patrick Soko, you were there firsthand, and what are some of the observations that you saw? Was the president on firm ground? We can say he was on firm ground because he was just given a head. Maybe here he was tapping, trying to gain confidence.
Yeah.
There are many things that people do to gain confidence. Others will just have a pen, others will be doing this, others will be tapping their hands. What was really happening there? Just run us through briefly.
Yeah, quite an interesting press briefing we had. The president, as usual, like you said, is usually firm in that he's confident in the way he carries himself, especially on matters that he has specific interest on. Usually, it tends to take it on.
Yeah.
So I think we pick that call before I give you my perspective.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Yes, it is. Good morning.
The voice of
Okay,
Monadi.
guys, I've just missed you for so long. How's it been?
We've been okay. You haven't contacted us for some time. What happened?
Yeah. I've actually gone to the farm. I was doing a bit of farming.
Oh, okay. Securing your food basket.
Professor Soko, good morning, my brother.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, that's very fine, my brother.
Thank you very much. We are just discussing the presidential press briefing, and we want to also get your views.
I think the presidential speech was very, very productive and very timely. I just want to pick on the sector of agriculture.
Yes.
Some people, many people, they are saying that the new Don government has dramatically shown where agriculture sector is done. I want to give you a typical example, my brother. There were a lot of anomalies that were deliberately created by the CF to deliberately benefit the so-called cooperative leaders. Cooperative leaders. For example, there are some people who have died a long time ago, but they have actually continued reflecting on the cooperative force. Henceforth, the time the fact is given, the fact that means the 4 months of the president and the 5 kg of the site thing. Who benefits at the end of the day is the one is the leader. I'm talking with the reality on the ground as a farmer, and I live in Camnet in Mose, where I actually come from. And I actually confronted him with the office of the district commissioner there, the former leader. I told him, as far as I'm going to the right now, that's all the people that are now going to account, including the so-called camp officers, the executive officers. One of them is Mr. Mambo, and he has well spoken. That's where I come from. It's not too far away from the village of the Home Affairs Minister. So most people are actually going to have to account, including the ones that physically have to make a lot of things, not that the people who are actually practicing by the kind of the bill. So even when they are saying that they are now negotiating some issues about the ACP, those people who are crying around it are the people who will be benefiting their things. And that is the best way. And I can let assure you that a lot of anomalies have been rectified. So come next year, I will let assure you that things will be normal. So again, for them to say that like Bob City, who I wanted to say that we actually predict a high cost of wheat where agro products will go to the rest of the river. I'm very honest with you. The rate that is taken is rate. The budget that is simply made with addressing the China was ridiculously high. No single portion of maize are reached China. So we are, of course, we are projecting the farmers, but I can let assure you we are still going to create anything and more than having. So I think for me, as of now, that is the best way to do. Coming to the energy sector, I think more is being done because there are a lot of anomalies as well, which I believe I should actually get into. I thank you, Professor. I thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you
so
very
much. You too can have your say on the presidential statement that was issued yesterday. Obviously, you have your own angles, your own understanding insofar as the statement was concerned. It was quite lengthy, but different sectors were tackled, and you may want to pick on one or two.
Yes.
Talking about the rains, Patrick, before you come back to the question I asked you, I think Chief Mpuka also mentioned to say, you know, the rains delaying has actually happened as a blessing in disguise, because the farming inputs delayed a bit, and when they just delivered and it rained, it started raining consistently, so it came at the right time, so it's not going to affect the food basket. We're not sure if at all this is something with other parts of the country. Pick it up from where you left off from.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for the voice of Munari there. That's Mr. Chinza, who was giving us his perspective. You too can give us your perspective on the presidential press conference that was held that as of Tuesday, quite a number of issues did emerge. Now, I was explaining on how the
situation was.
Yes, well, I think a little bit of improvement in terms of arrangement, the sitting arrangements. Well, it was well organized. The media had where to sit. The dignitaries had where to sit in terms of those.
Since you're not going to finish
in the diplomatic community.
Let's speak the
Okay, yeah, let's speak it.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
And the worst thing is when we are saying that things are okay now, that's bad. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Because things are tough now than
Your name, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Things are very hard. Things are very difficult right now compared to last year.
Okay, where are you calling from, sir?
My name is Mr. Luhelo.
Mr. Lohelo, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Matero.
Matero. Okay.
Yeah, so do you agree with the president that they are on course towards addressing the cost of living?
Yes, cost of living is higher now than the way it was last time.
Okay.
When you talk about the election, it's also hard. But now the thing we are hearing is not the listening government. Let us get the political and the economy. What is the president is not for the one part, the president for all subjects. So also we have our thing. But our judgment that things are very tough now compared to last time. Things are not okay. But what we are saying is different and what we are doing. Yes, because we are direct affecting us here on the ground. Things are tough now. We can't even buying. We can't even buy a fertilizer, a bag of fertilizer. We are reduced to poverty right now. Things are not okay, sir. Those defeated with a few individuals which are benefiting now, that the previous caller. It means it is to him, it is that things are okay. It is his side, but not to our side.
Which side are you? Which side are you, Mr. Lefu? Which side are you? Are you a farmer?
Yes, I do agriculture in Eastern Province, but I stay in Osaka.
Are you under the Farmer Input Support Program?
No, I'm not, but my relatives are there in that. Me, I buy with my own.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question. In Eastern Province...
Like now, bag of fertilizer about $1 or something. You see? Last time it was about 600-700 there. Everything has become double. But people who are benefiting, people who are enjoying the speaking, don't be criticizing. If you are a partisan, let us not talk about partisan. No, let's talk about the reality of people there. Because the things are more political now than ever before. You see a minister who can defend us there, who can speak for people, he speak about the in line of the politics. Let's differentiate things.
Okay.
Things are tough there in the villages. Even here in the compound, things you can't compare last time. And there are things which is better. People are talking about the past regime. You are there. You are failed to produce the doubt. Not Magangi wa Baba. Not to come up to know here past regime. You are going to Yumba. Where is that standing?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right.
Interesting views there. Yes, it's
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, he's speaking on the cost of living, and you know, it's justifiable because he's experiencing it. But let me also state what the president said on that. The president did mention to say, yeah, fixing, running a country is not an event.
No,
it's a process.
It's a process.
He also stated that the problems Zambians are going through as a result of the challenges that were left by the PF. But that's what our previous caller is refusing to say. It is not no longer necessary to attribute to the previous administration, because it is now. So now we are looking at now the president says you cannot fix an economy overnight, and that event. You have to make sure that things are normalized for the cost of living to be stabilized. In that you have to put in place economic fundamentals such as debt restructuring, ensuring that you are able to make sure that there are a lot of companies that are investing in the country. That's why they said that next year he would dedicate 2023 to unlocking what he refers to domestic rigidities.
A lot of terminologies came out
from the economy.
We need to cut those.
Yeah, but you know, you and I, historically as journalists, we are privy to this fact that Zambians do not understand those terms. No. Zambians, all they want is food on the table.
They don't inflation.
They don't mind whatever you may put there to say, this is the situation. This is Zambians usually want to say
food
on the table. And you know, the funny pledge is that it was 3 meals per day, and that no one should go to bed hungry. Now the challenge that however the president did justify to say we still have 5 years, according to the president. He says there are 5 years. 5 years to I mean the entire 5 years. They have to govern for 5 years for them to deliver the results. So that's what he suggested. So now we are still picking your views from on the breakfast show.
Let's go ahead and pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, morning, madam.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. All right.
Fine, thank you. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Felix from Sinazongwe.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the first idea is that the proof is no, people are not national. So, to the one way I have to one town. So there is no way that you know national ambition. And then we want to know that you come to the I think what's not comprehend. Here and there are people that know which are this the generation. So otherwise, we don't know what to
Okay.
There you have it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Work well too.
Is it Sinazongwe?
Yes, Sinazongwe.
Sinazongwe, they are representing. You too would want to represent your area. You can call us using the numbers that are scrolling on your screen. You can also send us those text messages so that we can get interactive. It was a bulky statement.
It was,
you can pick one sector that you feel appeals to you and something that you understand, so that we don't mislead people. Because sometimes when we comment from all over the place, you know, I say at all over.
So yeah, you are right.
You tend to mislead people.
But another interesting point he points out is that the president was praising himself that they have done it.
Self-praise has no commendation.
They have done enough. Yeah, but just like last time, I forbid you to say we have done enough to deliver the people's breakfast. I told you, Madam Sharon, let the people tell us.
Tell us.
But now,
but sometimes they never tell you, especially when you're ruling.
Yes,
you're in the ruling party. People never tell you things.
Exactly, you are right. But again, like he said, to say us, we are feeling things are the opposite. But the president has a different perspective. And talking about the different perspective, another interesting scenario also came out during the press conference yesterday, Madam Karimbula. You look at there was a statement the president issued vividly and confidently, so that when he is doing the right things of not ensuring that of not prosecuting people or not working on prolonged detention, others feel is being is not doing enough. It's being slow.
Oh, just thought. Let's speak this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Good, thanks. How are you? Tell us your name and where you're calling from. You're calling from Kabwe?
Yes, my name is Moses.
Your name is?
Moses.
Moses, okay.
You can go ahead with your
speak up a
contribution.
little so that we can get you clearly.
My name is Moses.
Yes, we picked that. Go ahead with your contribution. Mgwa. Okay. Your line is not very clear.
Yeah,
I
it is
think
fluctuating.
It's fluctuating. But I think we've picked one or two things. Patrick is talking about the increased minimum prices.
Yes.
And also the issue of fertilizer, where people have registered but they're not getting the inputs. I think I picked one or two of those things. But I mean, we're not speaking for the president. We are
getting your views and commenting based on whatever was said and whatever you are giving us. But we pick your perspective where you are expressing concern over the issue of fertilizer and also the issue of increasing prices of minimum. And for the record, Sharon, in the recent times we've seen an increase in the price of minimum. Some government officials have been accusing mirrors of actually sabotaging government, in that FRA has enough maize in reserve, and them too equally have enough maize. And the mirrors also assured the country that they are going to make sure that the price is stabilized, given that government has also allowed them to export.
It's the cost of production that's coming into play. Remember the issue of fuel adjustment every month?
Yes, every month.
It's fluctuating, so really.
And we're talking about electricity as well.
You don't expect people to have the same price when the production cost is getting higher every day, every month.
You are right.
So probably that is what is on the table. Pick it up.
So I was explaining a point where the president also said that they have worked on the rule of law and ensuring that issues pertaining to prolonged detention of suspects are addressed. So this is quite an interesting subject. But however,
we pick this call.
Interesting. Let's pick this call.
Oh, bye. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm calling from Ndola.
Ndola. You can go ahead with your Chingola. Okay. You can go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, you know, some of us missed the press conference yesterday. So we can only rely on you, journalists. Now, the way you're coming out, you know, I like the way the gentleman is coming out. They're coming out with facts of what obtained from the conference. That where the lady is busy complaining about 4 hours. You see, that's why we prefer watching CNN or BBC. When there's such an event, which doesn't come every day, the journalist should be there because that's your job, and being objective.
Can I correct your impression, sir? Can I correct your impression?
Yeah. Go.
Patrick Soko is the one who was covering the event for that long. I'm not complaining about the 4 hours. I think you're getting it all wrong. I think you're getting it all wrong, and it would be good for you to get the correct perspective.
Okay, let me put my views now.
You can go ahead.
Yes, sir. So it's good when you bring out things that came out of the conference, so that's optimistic, so we can learn and also make objective contributions. The fact of the matter is, yes, the money has been there for 2 years, and yes, things are quite bad, but things, for things to become good, they have to be bad. And what you should appreciate now is that the things that have been put in place, and we just have to support and continue pointing out things that are not right. I end here for now.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Now, let's get to zoom in the story that we covered. I think it picks on 4 angles. We cannot exhaust all the angles, so just to refresh the memories of our viewers, Madam Kalimbula, let's get to zoom in those stories.
I know you want me to breathe.
Yes.
You want me to breathe. Okay.
Let's get a refresher of the story so that people can pick the perspective on that aspect.
Okay. We are here with
Republican
you.
President Hakainde Hichilema, Tuesday 20th December 2022, held his last press conference for the year 2022 to uphold his commitment towards transparency and accountability. President Hichilema acknowledges that the year 2022 has been a combination of success and challenges.
So we committed to your views, receiving them. We welcome them. But remember, with the 5-year mandate, I think in the first 1 year, we've done pretty well. You can angle your own assessment. But for me, seated here, it's not enough. What we've done is not enough. I'm the first one to say we could do more. And we'll work to do more with yourselves.
The president had a message for every sector, and on topical issues, especially in the energy sector, the head of state says power utility firm ZESCO needs to be commercially viable.
ZESCO has to move to be commercially viable. Minister of Energy is looking at me. The last changes to some of these figures was around 205. Honestly, 205. How many years ago? How do you expect the business to survive again? Your own business. How do you expect, leave ZESCO alone, how do you expect to continue delivering electricity to your customers if you don't make the commercial adjustments that are necessary? The key for us now is to make the adjustments over a period of time, since they were not made for, we believe, political reasons. But we know that we will have the last laugh, because then ZESCO will be able to deliver, should be able to deliver efficiently to its customers.
While Zambians may argue, the president also indicated that the country is on the right track towards addressing the high cost of living.
Cost of living, issues around addressing this vigorously. We understand. We are with you. We're committed to ameliorating the issues around the cost of living. But the important thing is to know, to gauge, are we on the right track or not? The answer is we are. How do I know? How do I argue to you, the citizens? I argue because one of the issues that was going to basically crystallize whether we like it or not was...
And the President Hichilema says next year will be about unlocking the domestic economy by addressing government bureaucracy.
The President himself will spend more than 50% of his time on unlocking blockers to development. Simple as license issues, simple as permits, they may look. Reform around energy, so we can quickly attend to some breaches around them.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Media. I've sent a message to the Minister of Home Affairs. Media and journalists should be free to conduct their professional work. I've sent a message loud and clear. No journalist should be arrested in the line of duty because they're acting as journalists. No. It's up to you, the media, to deliver factual information. It's up to you. If you break other laws, that's a different issue. But no one should get arrested because you are conducting your professional work in the line of duty, so others would say. You shouldn't be in harm's way when you are in the line of duty. It's as simple as that. So, that's my 2023 commitment to you.
Welcome back. Well, we're just trying to refresh your memories regarding the press conference, in that there are some angles that we picked out. These are the 4 angles. But however, there were a lot of issues. I think I did indicate in that story that the president touched in almost all sectors of the economy. So we'll be unpacking them. Some of the stories will be blending them with reactions, and we'll be putting them for news because these are policy matters that the president has made. And also talking about the energy sector, Madam Karimbula. The president did indicate
with
that...
With so much respect, Patrick, please, go me, Sharon.
I thought I needed to respect you, Madam. So look, if you look at the energy sector, the president is also cognizant. You told us to say, have you seen us road shedding you for now? So it's equally a topical, a heated issue, even at Parliament, at cabinet level.
All right, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning. Okay. Mungatuze kwa mame mfuno kamba.
Okay.
Okay, that's curfew.
That's curfew.
All right.
Interesting. Yeah. So
testimonies. You know, these calls are like testimonies from the local people, where they are coming from, what they are seeing. So each view that is given out here is very important and valid, and it goes from here straight to the authority, and they may just act upon your complaints or whatever situations that you're going through. So really, we want you to call us and give us your perspective. It could be against, for, or maybe just advising the way forward. You never know where your advice may land. Because
the president did indicate that they need that advice, even equally from the media.
Yeah.
It did indicate that it's about listening to what the people want, and also looking at what has been done. If it is not a good policy, people have a right to say no, we are not happy the way CDF has been handled, and we are aware that reforms are still ongoing on CDF, and even the guidelines that were developed, they need to be revised further.
Hopefully by January next month. You were talking about the energy sector and the load shedding.
Yes, so the president did indicate, Sharon, that they'll be having a meeting this week. Should be Thursday. He indicated that they need to find a lasting solution, or probably remedial measures to cushion the anticipated load shedding or load management, as Zesco wants to put it. Yes. So, but you see, they said that, so we want to see what other measures can be put in place. So the president was equally categorical in giving part of the responses regarding what to be discussed, in that he was also saying that they want to see if they can entice the investors to invest in solar generation of energy. So now, if they can manage to put up those plans, they are saying that Zesco can enter into an agreement with Zesco, so Zesco can purchase that power. So the president wants to see how they can
Maneuver
around that. So now those are a part of the solutions that they said they couldn't effect the load shedding yet because discussions are still ongoing. Because you understand, Sharon, that your small business and mine depend on electricity, and if I'm running a barber shop or you are running a salon, what it means is that you and I will be out of business because, for instance, we cannot at small scale we cannot manage to have a genset just for yourself,
and
the fuel is
equally increasing every month.
Yeah, so we're talking about, it should be 25 kwacha per liter, is it? So it is quite expensive now if you look at that, and for a small business that is getting into the profits.
Yeah.
So that's something that the leaders are looking at, and to make sure that small businesses do not collapse.
This other call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm still calling from Sparta.
Okay.
As for me, what will come out from that press conference, it's actually very true that the president is running this country like this. It's personal business. You know, it's personal business. And you don't run a country like that. All I can tell my fellow Gambians that let's pray for more hardship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is Chipata there representing Eastern Province. I'm happy that we're getting calls, Sharon, from across the country.
Across the 10 provinces.
That shows that people are good and they're interested in matters that affect them. The topic we are discussing, Sharon, is not for you and I. It's about everyone.
It's about everyone. And therefore, like we reminded you earlier, please call us and give us your perspective. You may be not affected directly, but you are affected somehow. You know, it may be the issue we're talking about of electricity. You may be staying in a house that doesn't have power. You may be using charcoal and stuff, but at the same time, the effect will come to you in terms of maybe buying mealie meal, which is produced at a plant where they need power, they need this. So let us all have a collective voice and comment on these important matters and help government come up with better solutions that suit all of us. Yeah. I'm not sure if at all the president's decision or government's decision to work around the plan of electricity is dependent on the extracts from his tweets, his Facebook post to say load shedding yakanga, you know, and that was like 2020. Yeah. Those things flew all over people's statuses, reminding him to say, you didn't like this, why are you bringing it back?
Yeah, you are right.
So media has a way of reminding somebody. Internet has a way of reminding somebody of what they promised.
We are the partners to the president, and he never misses his word. The fourth estate, it is us to remind him. It is us to also report on government policies. If they are progressive or not progressive, yes.
Exactly.
If they are working or not working, like you put it, it is us to report that. We all, just like the judiciary has its own responsibility to interpret the law.
Of course.
So we are.
Okay. Another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, madam?
Fine, thank you. How are you, sir?
Okay, I'm Mr. James. I'm calling you from Malawi.
Okay, Mr. James, go ahead.
Yes, madam. The issue of electricity is energy. Once electricity increase, or we increase the fees and these other things, it will trigger deforestation.
Yes.
A lot of things will go up. It's more like fuel. I was just disappointed in the president when he said we increased because the adjustments were not made in 2005. So we increased according to time from 2005 to 2022. But when increasing, you should not look at that. Look at the economy, look at the people. From 700 and something to 4,000 and something. How many people, just as of now, can manage a 4,000? Even you who work there, a 4,000 is something big to a lot of people. So I'm requesting to the government, please listen. the government, like they are being looked after by the system through the taxes. So what of those who are poor, inability, like who have nothing, how are they going to benefit from the system? If by subsidizing, they buy cheap electricity. In the process, most of the products, they will be cheap. So, in the way, they will also benefit. Like if you increase what of those who are poor, it's bad. When people are complaining, listen, please, people are suffering, listen to a person. It's not that whoever complains is against the government. No. No one wants the government to fail. We want the government to provide for the people. As if the people are providing for them. Your oil is free. Electricity for them is free. Doctoring, weekend money, what was this is free. Help the people. May God bless you.
All right, God bless us.
It was getting
it's coming from within.
From the heart, Sharon, that
you know,
that if I'm with it, I was just going to cry and say, "Ish."
But you
know,
anyway,
but you know the way he spoke, he brought out his point.
Yes,
he didn't miss his point,
no.
Sharon. And you heard him the way he mentioned every part and he summarized everything,
yes,
pertaining to the energy sector. And I tell you, he could have not put it better when it comes to the government assisting or helping its people. And I tell you, it's quite an interesting subject. It will be with us for a while, Sharon, because you know that the ERB the other time did this week did approved that ZESCO should increase the connection fees. And you are upcoming landlords. You should be brace yourself, you know, for such things. So the energy sector, the reforms in the energy sector are quite intensive, and they are quite forbidding to people in that they are too aggressive. After those the connection fees being adjusted, ZESCO is still wants to being commercially viable. Now you know, like probably like he put it, to say the government needs to take care of its people. You understand? For me, if I'm to be given an opportunity to make a suggestion, for me my suggestion would be that as ZESCO expands its generation capacity, it should look at exporting electricity. While it is exporting electricity, the profits should be able to cushion us as the residents of this country and be able to benefit. If Zambia is to supply energy across the region, because Zambia is well positioned with quite is it 8 neighboring countries, Sharon, we are land linked, and that gives us an opportunity to provide electricity to various countries. Now, while we are providing that electricity, we have enough money. Those people, we can give them commercial rates, or that but locally here, people should be able to enjoy the
to sit on the table
subsidies
with
and enjoy the fruits of government, you know, because government's responsibilities to the people. Everything cannot be a business. That's like water. I want to talk about water. Last time there was a mix-up when people were talking about cost-effective tariffs in the water sector, but it's actually cost-efficient tariffs.
Okay.
So I will continue from that.
Let's pick this call and get to interact. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning. Hello.
I missed that call. However, you too can call us and give us your perspective. We are discussing, or we are getting your views on the presidential statement that was issued yesterday at a press conference. It was quite lengthy because many sectors were tackled. It is the last press conference of the year 2022, and we'll be using this as a yardstick to start 2023. He made a lot of promises as to what his administration is up to next year, and we will be following these chains as the media, reminding you, the people, and him as well, to say this is what you promised, what have you done here and there. So Patrick, we also have other stories that we did. We have a caller?
Yes.
Let's pick this call before we go to these other stories. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
How are you?
Fine, how are you? Charity.
Sharon, you make...
Yeah, I'm calling from Chilanga.
Oh, okay. You can...
Many anonymous.
Oh, I think I know the
Miss Anonymous, but in the one parish Nalimbi. My name is Sharon.
Oh, Sharon Karikula.
Okay,
Sorry for that mistake.
I'll remain anonymous tomorrow.
yeah, she will also be anonymous.
Oh, we're going towards the end of the year. So that topic you are discussing is a very good topic. But as my brother is saying, your opponent there is nothing like taking care of the Zambians. This is actually subjecting the Zambians to healthy high lifestyle because power is expensive, fuel is expensive, meal is expensive. So there is nothing like caring. And it's different from the concept of fixing the economy. It's now fixing the Zambian people. And as you are saying, Zambia is very rich in terms of water, where we have Kafioro Hydro Power Station. We have Kusuwasi. We have Kariba. So why is it that things are now different from what they were promising? It was just the day first when I was the Deputy Secretary General of UPSD. Out of the topic we are discussing, there were some cadres who smashed the bus for fresh. I mean, at around Freedom Way. Those people were UPSD. Now, when the Secretary General came, I know those are still PF. The transfer distribution, no PF still have some people within the system. So now, what is it that we are going to get as a truth to show that Zambian people voted for a government which is going to give them a view? People are complaining. Conduct some random surveys in this community. You find that people are struggling to have even a deal. So this government, it doesn't care. That's why they are even going to an extent of appointing cadres to those important positions. But you as journalists continue speaking for the people. Because I'm not, even when you analyze, you are not siding with any government, you are either opposition or the ruling party, but you are talking about the reality. In the community where I'm staying from here, or in honestly speaking, if a person is struggling to buy a bag of milk, how is he going to manage to pay for power connection for 4,500? And they are saying, they are boasting that we are conducting it, or we are saying we are giving out the free education. Free education, the child is not teaching from home, he goes to school, they are not giving them the books, there are no pens. That is what it means to have free education. So those are the big challenges we have in this country. Otherwise, we don't know where we're headed.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anonymous. You too can call us and remain anonymous if you don't want to be cited.
Yeah, but this one is our regular.
This one is our regular one. That will attach a face to it. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
We investigate you.
We will invite him to be on set with us.
He will wear that mask like that.
Yes,
journalist.
yeah, like that journalist. So that he can help us analyze. We have three people need to help us analyze himself. We have our Livingston caller, Reverend Manduli.
Reverend Manduli as well.
Yes.
Those people will come and
help us wind up
and analyze some of the things.
For next week, I think with this arrange at least one of the three
can make
come
it.
in the studio. Yes.
We actually appreciate your contributions and we value your viewership. However, Patrick, before we pick that call, I said let's run through some of the stories that we did yesterday, where houses that are built along Chivila stream in Momba district of Central Province have been affected due to the rains. In Aloka yesterday, even in Lusaka it was bad at some point. So Momba District Administrative Officer Dr. Semasiko now towards the area and described the situation as unfortunate. Let's look at this story. The rains have just started. They haven't even reached the peak, but people are already being displaced.
And Momba is not a new story.
Momba is not a new story. Momba is always like that. Let's look at the story.
Several houses which are built closer to the Chibila stream of Mlengo area in Momba district of Central Province have been submerged following a heavy downpour experienced in the last 24 hours. Momba District Administrative Officer Dr. Smasiku says the New Dawn administration will not be held accountable for the lawlessness of its people.
Anyone who has built within 50 meters to vacate, and as government will not tolerate anyone building in an area, a waterlogged area. We had a similar problem in 2020 where water was overflowing over the tarmac, and we are asking all those who are built in the water area to leave right away. As government will not tolerate any structure, we have to demolish, because the 50 meters is supposed to be a breather for the river. And if you build the structure in the area of the water, you disrupt the flow, and this water disturbs houses.
Mildred Chompo, a concerned Momba resident and the area ward councillor, have charged that despite several warnings given, the occupants did not vacate their houses and paid a deaf ear to the call.
Serious measure to force everyone to leave the lowlands, because they'll keep on asking for relief food and alternative measures after such a situation. Because these people, I don't know what I can say, because they were told to shift. Everyone was told to shift. They were even given alternative plots. That is 2 years ago. So now for this situation, this person just needs to find his own way out.
I'm not very happy with this situation, because we advised the owner of that house and we gave them the plots to shift from this area. It's a very dangerous area. As you can see, water is here, and very soon, despite of today we have seen it in the daylight, if it was night, we would have found someone to, no one was supposed to be found himself there. But unfortunately, this is a sudden issue where we have been advising our people not to build near the waterways.
Meanwhile, affected families talked to have learned a lesson the hard way.
Manje tapunza lesson kai hapa manje sikufika mkalamu hapa. Kwa hapa manje mweme tingene na mteni wale. Nshi zanka continue so chabe. Chasala hapa manje shi kumwalira chabe. So hapa liamenelelo kubbe kubwirira futi njani kuchoka chabe.
So muzafuna kutandizo ili onse, or maybe since some of the things have been rescued, you are set to start renting a new apartment.
Muzafuna kutandizo ili onse.
Kunkani ya?
Kunkani ya kuti mkatokea hapa, bendo sakira kwina. Kaya hapa so maunga onse angina umanzi, malashachani vonse vomvimba na angina umanzi. Kuriba hapa menje tekela kuti nzaenda kukapa nyumba ya mtu.
Matthias Chewe, Camnet News, Mambwa.
For us to appreciate that food, as you've said, is a necessity. It's an absolute necessity. There's no way you can sustain life without food. All right. And in this particular case, my view was that we also needed to digress. We needed to diversify our base away from just maize. We needed to get sorghum. We needed to get millet. We needed to get sweet potatoes. But also there are other places, of course. If you take places like Western Province, for instance, Litapi, we take Luapula, for example, it is our brim that we need to have. So there are these other food commodities, bananas, pineapples in Northwestern, and so on and so forth. We have to have those. We have just to have those foods available to the people. Now, I couldn't do it between April and December, it was not possible to do all these things. So I needed to focus on those things that were priority. And by the way, we managed to get that fertilizer, which we were buying locally at $1,079. We managed to get it from Saudi Arabia at $388 per metric ton. And I've got the figures right here with me. It's just that the cameras might not be able to pick it. But we bought it at $388 per metric ton, which we had been buying at $1,079, meaning we were buying it at 2.5 times the price which we bought from Saudi Arabia. All right. Now, that enabled me to liquidate all the other payments to the farmers, to the transporters, to the seed suppliers. So I am asking myself, what could have happened? What could have caused the minister not to, and the ministry, should I say, and the minister to have not been able to get this thing on a timely basis? Okay. There are usually pressures because there are these cartels that they always want to have all the orders for the fertilizers and so on and so forth.
Welcome back. You are still watching the Camnet Breakfast Show, Wednesday edition, governance and policy as well as politics. And interestingly, we are discussing the presidential press conference that was held yesterday. And President Hichilema did bring out quite a number of issues during the press conference. And we have been talking to you, our dear viewers, on what you think. If you think the president delivered according to expectations, or you feel he left out something, or you feel he, what he's saying does not correspond with what you are observing, and others have been able to give us their perspective. You too can do the same as we come towards the 9 minutes of our program, but we can still squeeze in a little bit of two callers like so that we just wind up our discussion. And before that, the stories we're zooming in, Sharon, interestingly, I pick out something in this Mumbwa story, floods. You and I did discuss before we played the story where Mumbwa district has been prone to floods.
All the time, every year.
Yes, every year. So now, looking at that interesting story, it's where you go and build where there is a stream. And because at the time you are building, there is no water
it's
there.
Dry.
Yes, it's dry, and you think it is okay.
Let's pick this call.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, we can hear you, sir.
I'm anonymous as well, calling from Azabuka.
All right, you can go ahead for contribution.
Yes.
Go ahead and give us your contribution. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I'll start by saying it was good that the president chose to give us end of year pressure. We talked about so many things. But my comment would be the organization of that pressure, I think, wasn't
okay.
We respect people like the director of media, Mr. Hamasa, who have done a good job on that. And the next thing is about the load shedding. I think people have commented. I think the contract, provisions of the contract that Zambia has with neighboring countries should not be a justification to make people suffer. Earlier in the week, the director at General at the Mr. Mafam, indicated that Zambia increased the supply to Namibia. Now, when they were doing that to increase the supply to Namibia to 8 gigawatts, something like that. So if they have foresight for them before doing that, they look at the amount of energy that we have. Because what the president was giving us doesn't, it's not a justification that we cannot break the contract, so we must suffer because of the contractual obligations that they have. And then the other thing was we talked about having ended capitalism. It's very sad because yesterday and the day before, matters were picking up flashback later. Yesterday was evening clearing in permanent secretaries. The cadres were on the road, picking up people and picking up drivers. It's very sad, and they do not want to address this problem. The only thing they say is that things are peer covered or the peer legal. I think the federalism did not start with fear. It started in MMD, I remember. And these people that are viewed as dangerous in your cases, they are not. But the same UPND members of others, they fought battles with MMD. The same people fought battles with fear. So does it mean they are only provoked by others? The point I'm trying to put across is that the president and the party leader should address this issue, for they promise that there will be no toleration, but we continue to exist. And then the other thing is all the problems that we are having, all the things they have not done, they want to continue blaming fear. Seriously, it's not fair. According to them, fear is good. So if we blame fear, that would be a solution. Don't give us a solution to solve this problem. And there have been good things and things we have got now. Good things have been in government for 6 months. No one has been convicted. Let them convict happen so that we can just find the spreading of these people as illegal things. So that's what I wanted to say.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There from Mazabuka, but decides to remain anonymous. It is, you're right. You can also call us. I think we can squeeze in one call before we go. We have about 3-4 minutes before we say our bye-byes, but within these few minutes, you can call us and give us that banging observation or comment on that statement that was issued yesterday. Patrick, before we pick that call, you were saying something, isn't it?
Yeah,
You've even lost your thoughts.
A lot of things.
We're talking about the floods. We're talking about the floods in Mumbai. Like it's a perennial thing.
Yes, so I think it goes to our planning, the Department of Planning of local authorities not doing their work and making sure that people do the right thing when they are constructing our houses. So that becomes a problem. And when it comes to the rainy season, it does not spare anyone. I like the fact that even the residents in the story do acknowledge that they are mistaken.
They have learned
and they have learned their lesson, and because they are on the losing side.
Exactly.
And it's important that we take a proactive approach on matters pertaining to house construction, because housing is not an easy project, so you don't want to waste your resources. Make sure your investment is worthwhile. So now Sharon, as we wind up our conversation on the breakfast show, I want to bring out two issues that I think the ministers or the permanent secretaries or the people responsible needed to inform the president. First of all, you and I preview that opposition political parties, we covered, for instance, the likes of Savoy Imbwela, we covered Sean Tembo, we covered Chirufya Tayari, we also covered recently Kaiza Zuru. These people were facing bailable cases and also bondable cases, but they were not released within time. But the president, when he was confidently addressing the people, did indicate that we have ended that impunity where people think it is normal that someone should be arrested on Friday and make sure that they spend the weekend after, and then they start facilitating for bond or a bail on Monday or the other week. So that which amounts to prolonged detention. You and I covered the Human Rights Day that falls on the 10th of December annually, but though it was pushed forward in the case of Zambia, where the Human Rights Commissioner, Mr. Madford Mwandenga, the Human Rights Chairperson, did indicate that the police has been exhibiting impunity and arresting people and detaining them more than necessary. So without taking them to court. All those issues were pointed out by our very own human rights body, and it is an important information that the president should be privy to, so that whatever, when he's making a speech like that one, it corresponds with that. And probably if he's informed, he can even state the fact to say, but I do not want that what happened to this one and this one to continue. Then I also, during the press conference, he also pointed out quite an interesting issues pertaining to the mining sector, though not so conclusive pertaining to Vedanta and KCM, but he said they are working on that issue. First of all, he maintained what has already been stated, that they are addressing that issue of the courts, because issues are better settled outside the court, because there will be no productivity if the court process continues to drag. He also mentioned that the Kansensi gold mining issue has been resolved, in that stakeholders did sit round the table to discuss this issue and chart the way forward, which they succeeded. We also asked a question pertaining to constitutional reforms, which the president stated that it's going to be things that are not contentious can be addressed by Parliament. Those that are contentious may need a referendum, of course, but the referendum he also mentioned to say it's an expensive venture. But we understand that Zambia has cooperating partners such as the UN, the European Union, that can help it to finance such an undertaking, because it's an undertaking that is necessary for us to foster the rights, because at the moment readers cannot be held accountable on account that the Bill of Rights is not sufficient for us to demand and actually take them to court if they are not actualizing, for instance, the right to education,
which you argued with Prudence at some point.
Yes, so those are the issues, Madam Karimbula. The president also was categorical. As I wonder, was categorical on that. He says the measures that they are taking with the mining sector have been progressive, but though the opposition have been arguing that, because they feel the government is safeguarding the plight of the mining sector at the expense of Zambians, while Zambians have been subjected to more taxes, and Zambians have to be bearing the high cost of living, and the pending energy reforms in the energy sector are expected to further exacerbate the situation. The prayer for now for Zambians is that the kwacha does not go mad or go berserk, so that we do not see a rise in the cost of fuel as we celebrate the new year. Let me just say, we wind up.
All right, Patrick Soko.
We wind up.
That's where we have it up this morning. Join us again tomorrow as we discuss another important topic. We may have a guest and tackling one or two issues from that. It was a lengthy statement, and I was even misquoted for saying 4 hours, but it simply meant that it was a long statement which needed a lot of time to discuss. So maybe tomorrow we may have a guest.
You're going my route.
A guest.
You are going my route.
I'm winding up, Patrick. I'm not explaining the way you are explaining, as if you're a technocrat.
You have just
so relax. So tomorrow we may have a guest on set to help us discuss one or two things. Then we can wrap it up. But it is a yardstick for 2023, like I mentioned, because you need to transition from where you're coming from and promise people what you're going to work on the following year. So indeed, we zoomed some of our stories that we did, and we looked at the money markets. We also did look at how the Morning Boost and the Health Corner as well. Thank you so much for everybody who took time to watch, to call, and to send us those text messages. We don't take you for granted. Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel besides award-winning. Bye for now.
Thank you.